I don't really want to stay looking in the past. I want to just kind of be present and look toward the future. Like we learn and we move on, right? And like I think that that's kind of my mantra.
Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Doughnut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, and today I'm bringing you a very exciting Take the Doughnut interview with the one and only Reilly, who is a reality TV winner, a TV personality, and a casting producer. And to be honest, I probably didn't need to introduce her to you. Rachel, welcome to your Take the Doughnut interview.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is very exciting. I appreciate the introduction. I feel so important.
Oh my goodness. I thought to myself, who could I talk to who would have so many things that they could potentially say in answer to my questions about opportunity that, like, I don't even know what they would choose. And my answer was you. It was a short list. It was you.
Yay!
I can't wait to see where we go with this conversation. But, before we get into it, I have to ask you, what's your favorite donut?
Oh, that's a great question. I've been preparing this answer for you. So, okay, I had this really good donut at Halloween this year. Don't hate me. I'm not a donut person.
That's okay.
I don't know why I've never like really gotten into donuts, but if it's like a really fun donut, I'll try it, right? I love food. I'm a big foodie. So I had this one at Halloween time and it was like a pumpkin with I think it had orange on the top. I don't even know the name of it, but it had pumpkin filling and then it had like cinnamon and it had like this caramel sauce on top of the orange. I think it was orange frosting. And then it had these cute little pumpkin flakes. So let's call it a pumpkin donut.
That sounds amazing. That sounds right up my alley. Do you remember where you got it?
Yes. So I got it at this local donut shop here in Alabama. So I live in Birmingham, Alabama. We moved here about 2 years ago. My husband did a residency at UAB and I got it at this local donut shop. Put me on the spot. And I did research this too. I'll have to find the donut shop name for you. But it's this really cute little local donut shop and they do like specialty seasonal donuts. And so I was like, I'll try it.
That's amazing. If you think of it, I'll put it in the description later, so they can get a little plug. I want to have their pumpkin donut now, so that's amazing.
It was good. It was really good. And I'm not a donut. I mean, I like donuts, but it's like, they're not my favorite.
Hey, the great news, donuts are a metaphor for me. So you can either take the real donut or you can take the donut metaphor, whatever works.
I like it both.
So I just said like the tiniest bit about you, just scratching the surface in my introduction, but I know there's a lot to say about you. So tell us what you want us to know as we get into this conversation.
Okay. I mean, I think just basically like I am on a journey. We all are, right? And I have stumbled into the entertainment industry and it has been so much fun. I have just had a blast in this industry. And I've made a business out of it and a career out of it. And I think that that's like something that a lot of reality TV personalities want to do, but maybe they don't know how, or they don't have the guidance, or sometimes they don't have they just want to keep doing shows and shows, but there's so much more to this industry. And that's kind of what I discovered when I fell in love with it in 2008. I was just like, I need to work in television. And I really love unscripted. And I think we really started to get the unscripted, I don't know, experience that you would say in the year 2000 when Survivor came out. And then we had The Apprentice and we had all the, of course, the real world of it all. But I think we were just starting to scratch the surface a little. We started to see it in 2010. Reality TV really blew up. We started to see some docu-follows. We started to see some a lot more competition shows. And it had been on, 10 years of competition shows for like the Big Brothers and The Bachelor and um, Amazing Race, things like that. So, and Survivor, of course. um, so then I started to get involved. I grew up on these shows, and um, I think that just kind of led me down this path of pursuing a career in casting and pursuing a career in production, and just to really where I am today. I mean, my whole family's been on reality TV. I get them all involved. I hope my kids one day will want to join me in the unscripted journey as well.
I have follow-up questions, but I feel like we could potentially tackle them later. But I think it's worth saying that, it's not just about shows that you're on. I feel like you also present ideas and shows get built. So
Yeah.
I think it's like this very interesting creative space for you that you've carved out for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And I have been ever since I got off of like the first, so I did Big Brother, Amazing Race, then I really, really started getting into it. And I started thinking of ideas like this cute little Adventures for Pets idea, where it would be my sister and I traveling around the country, finding pet friendly destinations, people that did like hotels, restaurants, and we found so many pet friendly destinations. And honestly, in the past 10 years, that industry has blown up. I should have stuck to that. I don't think I really knew at the time how to create what I needed to create to have a successful show doing that, but we all learn. We learn, we make mistakes, and then we move forward. I was actually asked a question yesterday in an interview. They're like, do you have any regrets? And I was like, no, because I've learned from everything. I have things that I'm like, oh my God, that's cringy. But then I'm like, you know what? I learned so much from that. So I don't regret anything. I feel like I don't really want to stay looking in the past. I want to just kind of be present and look toward the future. Like we learn and we move on, right? And like I think that's kind of my mantra. But yeah, as far as creating shows, I think it's a really cool environment now. I was watching this one of the biggest producers for a network. I cannot remember their name, but I was watching a video that they did in an interview, and he was said, nowadays unscripted can really be made by anyone. He was like, the reality TV world is there's so much freedom because you can go on YouTube and create something and a network could buy it. We have all these people that are these up and coming people from TikTok and all, Instagram, YouTubers, all these people in the past few years have just really, created this whole world for themselves. Like, look at Mr. Beast. I mean, now he's creating reality shows that are being bought by Amazon. So, I mean, who knew? Like 10 years ago, that I don't even think people would have thought that would be a possibility.
Absolutely. I mean, it's what an evolution there's been personal for you and also industry wide. Let's reset this for a moment just to make sure if you've never heard of a Take the Doughnut interview before, here's what it's not just all about donuts today. We're talking about opportunity. It all stemmed from this strange thing that happened to me in college where I left an actual donut on the table, but it became an object lesson for me and what it looks like to leave opportunity on the table. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take the donut, and I'll link a video here for those who want to know more about that story. But this conversation really is all about how do you go after what you want in life? What does that feel like, practically speaking? How do we approach that as people? So, Rachel, you're starting to address some of this already, but how are you in general with going after goals? What is that process like for you?
Oh, that's a great question. I do a mood board or like a vision board, because every year I think, what do I want to accomplish? How can I make something that I want? I see a goal. How am I going to make it happen? What do I want? Because I really do feel like if you don't self-reflect and think about what you want, you're never going to be able to you'll never be able to do it, because it's like more than just manifesting, and it's more than just saying like, I'm meditating on this. So you have to actually like do it. You have to have that goal, think of practical ways to get there, and you have to continue to work on whatever it takes to get there. So if it's like, I want my own show, what do I have to do to get my own show? What do I have to like, how do I get there? How do I see myself there? What do I see myself doing? Um Gosh, I listened to this speech in, I think, gosh, it was like 2010, that just like I will never forget. It was like figure out your shape, and it was like your strengths, your abilities, your weaknesses, your like something that it was like happiness. And it was just like basically like what are you good at? And then you kind of like put that out, like, because we're all different. We're all here for a different purpose, right? So like we all have these different goals, and we all have these different ideas of how things should look. Even like when you think you're competing with someone, you're really not, because they have different strengths than you, and they have different paths that they're going to be on. So I think that I always, to get my goals, to never leave my donut behind. I think I had to figure out what I'm good at. What do I love? What makes me happy? What am I passionate about? And I mean, it's silly, but I am passionate about unscripted TV. I mean, I don't think it's silly, but you know, I love it. I love the creativeness of it. I love the stories and the rawness of it all. I love how you put these people in these crazy situations, and you kind of see how, like, what's going to happen, and you see how everything's going to unfold. And then like we have really cool docu-follows where you just never even know what's going to unfold, because because it's their lives, but it's real and it's raw, and these stories are better than scripted stories sometimes, you know? I mean, that's what I really find exciting about the unscripted world.
Oh, beautifully said. Now, some of these things that you go after are really big. And for any of us, sometimes we go after goals that are huge and it's going to take a while to get there. So when that's the situation for you, how do you stay motivated in that process?
Gosh, I don't know. I think to stay motivated, I think I'm like a self pusher. I'm a pusher. I push myself. I just continue to think like what I want, and what I need to do to get there. And I think the motivation comes from seeing it, maybe just seeing it in front of me, because I do like to like journal, and I do like to, I listen to like motivational meditations in the morning, and so I do try to like really like self-reflect a lot, and maybe that helps me. Also, I have two kids, and so that like motivates me to be a better person every day. I think every parent can say that. But I mean, I think for motivation, I just really look within, because you can't really look to other people to, and I'm happily married, but there's times when my husband's just like frustrated with what I'm doing, or he just like, it doesn't, I can't just expect him to always be my motivation. He has his own goals. So I need to be there for myself, I think.
Yeah, that's something that I've really come across in my life as well. And I think it can be surprising for people if like they find themselves alone in a journey when they expected people around them. So if you can pull that from within yourself, I think it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that that's something, sometimes, as my Alexa tells me, my daily reminder to my affirmation.
So it's you and Alexa that help you towards your goals.
Exactly.
We're
Exactly.
really getting into it here.
But listen, hey, whatever helps. Like, honestly, like every day Alexa tells me to meditate. To meditate, I have it set up, and then she always tells me my daily mindset affirmation or whatever, and so
Alexa's like, I want in on this interview
yeah,
right now.
exactly,
Don't you leave me out of this. So I'm curious, like when you think about challenges, are there any types of challenges that just seem to keep coming up for you? Like maybe it's your Achilles heel that everything you're going after, this is going to rear its head.
Yeah, I guess like that imposter syndrome they talk about, where I always am just like, what am I doing? Who am I? Why am I saying this? I'm not good enough. That whole voice in my head always comes out, but I don't know that I allow, and my dog, she always wants to play. Every time I get on an interview, I swear my dog is like, just wants to play. Um, I think my Achilles heel is just myself. I mean, I know that sounds, well, I mean, I don't know how it sounds, but that's my Achilles heel. I hear that from a lot of people. And, I think that that's what we as humans struggle with, it's like, I don't really put a lot of focus into what other people are doing, because I've learned that everything is just, oh, you can't keep up with it. Like it's always going to be going, and like you go on Instagram and you're like, oh my gosh, this person has this going on and they're doing all these things, and you're just like, it's going so quickly. Why am I not doing it? Or like, what's going on? And so I realized I can't keep up with that. I have to keep up with myself. So I've tried to better myself so I can like make it easier for me to be able to just focus on myself. Like whatever I can do, if I have to not go on someone's Instagram page that is maybe intimidating to me or something, then I just don't, I don't know. Maybe that's my Achilles heel. Trying to keep up.
And it's very relatable, I think,
Yeah.
for so many of us as well. Now, I have been excited to ask you this question for a while. If you think back historically, personal or professional, whatever comes to mind, what is the biggest donut you've ever taken?
Ooh,
Of the so many.
I mean, maybe just every opportunity, I guess. I don't know. Like, that's a good question, because I think sometimes I take too many donuts, and maybe sometimes I take too many on, because, I'm not right this second, but I was like going to nursing school, working in casting, being a mom of two, and I was trying to build my business and still film reality TV shows all at the same time. So I think that's a pretty big donut. But I think I just try to maybe I take on too many things, and these are my big donuts that I grab. I just try to grab too many of them at once, and they pile up and make one giant donut. It's a messy donut. It's a mishmash donut. Doesn't really make sense, but I think I just try to grab too many.
I think that is a really good answer. I was like, I don't even know where she's gonna go with this.
Yeah. I don't either.
I mean, how many different things could you say there? It's a lot. And I think I mentioned to you earlier that like sometimes I look at you and I think, how are you just one person doing all these things? And I think that kind of is in line with what you're saying, that you feel like it's a lot. You're doing a lot.
Yeah. And sometimes I have to, budget my time to the minute, where it's like, at 12:01, I have to do this. So I think that these are big donuts that I'm taking, and I'm taking them on because I want to plant so many seeds, and like whatever, like, part of my like, I don't know, seed harvest I'm in, if it's like planting the seeds and trying to see what pops up and what grows. Sometimes I do a lot of that, and I need to like focus on watering one thing rather than just like planting a bunch of seeds.
Well, with that in mind, is there anything you're working on now that you can share? Is there a donut that's currently in progress for you?
There's always donuts. I do have a few things coming out this next year, which I'm really excited about, that I filmed and that I'll continue to be filming. And I get really excited about filming unscripted TV and about doing all these like fun activities and like game shows and movies, stuff like that. I really enjoy this industry. So for me, that's really exciting. I mean, right now I'm casting The Golden Bachelor, and that's also really exciting. It's one of my favorite shows now. I loved the first season. I got to cast that, and now I'm casting the second season, and I enjoy every day. I get to talk to so many cool people. And I have and if anyone's listening, I'm casting ages 57 and up.
And we'll give you a place to follow Rachel at the end of this so that you know how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's amazing. So for all of those people who have a donut they want to take, something they're thinking about or something they've just started, they don't know what the next step is, let's sprinkle some encouragement. What advice would you give to those people?
Yeah, I would say just go for it. Don't ever say no. That's my big mantra too. I never say no. I never like allow anyone to tell me no, because just because that person's opinion is no doesn't mean that another person might think yes, or maybe it's no right this second, but in 3 months it might be yes. So just keep going for what you dream. And when you find something that you're passionate about, you're truly passionate about, keep working on it and keep enjoying it and keep planting those seeds to keep it growing, even if you have 10 other side hustles because you're waiting for this plant to grow. Just keep doing it. Sprinkle your sugar on it, sprinkle your donut.
We love the puns here. Oh my goodness. So that's perfect. Now, if people are interested in following you, finding out what you're up to, or even separate question, maybe applying to be on The Golden Bachelor, how do they reach you? What links should I put in the description for you?
Yeah, so I post every casting that I'm doing on Instagram. So I would go to my Instagram page, which is Rachel E. Reilly V, I guess. Yeah, that's Instagram. And then for my TikTok, it's Rachel E. Reilly Vegas Casting. I'm working on the TikTok, trying to get more followers. And what else? I have Rachel's Reality is like my website. It's a work in progress. But I mean, I really think I put the most attention into Instagram. So if you want to know what I'm casting, or if you're interested, you can always slide into my DMs and tell me that you want to be on a show, and I will definitely make sure that we get you seen by something. I work really hard to try to like remember people that reach out to me so I can like think of something that they'll be good for.
I think that's one of the interesting things about casting, that you can be in no today,
Yeah.
because this isn't exactly it, but that maybe a year from now, there's like the perfect thing.
100%.
Lines up exactly with how you responded to your earlier question. I think that potential future opportunity is there.
Yeah, literally. And it's funny too, you could be a no for this cast, but a yes for another cast and another season for the same show. So it's like, if something you have to just keep going. Like Dan Giesling, who's on Big Brother, who's on the Traitors right now, he was told no, like for a few years to Big Brother. And then his right season came, he won, and he's a legend. He's on Traitors now. I mean, look, you never know what's going to happen and how your life can change just by one opportunity.
And what a tragedy it would have been if we didn't have Dan Giesling. Somebody eventually made the right call.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's a world I don't want to know. Anyway, everybody be sure to check out those resources. So much to follow with Rachel's journey. So check those resources out. And if you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe. We've got inspirational interviews still to come with others. And Rachel, in the meantime, thank you so much for saying yes to this interview, for sharing your thoughts, and, just for giving us all some things to think about.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. And I know, like, I really appreciate you sharing your donut with me. All about the donut love.
That's what's happening here. Well, okay, everybody, you know what to do. Get inspiration, get donuts. Bye.